we go. Let's see if this is working. Yes, it's working.
Okay.
I'm Pat.
I'm Will.
I'm Jeffrey.
This is Coffee Before Bed.
Yeah, it is.
What is
And
coffee
Mountain Dew.
before bed, William?
The drinking of a caffeinated beverage before you go to sleep.
Oh, it's very descriptive.
I've had a week off. I had time to process,
You had time to think about
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
Yeah.
This was your week off, yeah.
Well, yeah. It was a kid's week, so now I'm off the kid's week.
Okay.
So
Did you do anything fun?
I thought there was something. I don't know. It was just the kids.
Yeah, just
I
kids.
did something.
You didn't go.
Oh, I almost killed myself. So
Go on.
Olivia had a birthday party to go to up in Denver at a place called Lava Island.
Do they have actual lava?
They try to make it look like lava. Floating up everywhere. But so they have this really cool thing where you go about, I don't know, 20 feet in the air and you can jump into the foam pit. But they also have like a trapeze. They have all these kind of things that you can do to, get into the foam pit. And I was just like, that looks like fun. I was like, I'm going to try and get to like the end of the foam pit. I'm going to see how far I can get on this trapeze. And so you get on it, and I'm like, okay, and you go. Well, it's designed for kids and not people as tall as you.
Right.
So when you get off the edge, instead of just swinging,
Yeah.
you drop straight down first. And so my fingers were like, barely holding on. And then when I got out to the end, it just flipped me off. And I went, and it was like slow motion, and I looked, and I could just see staring straight at the foam pit with my head, and I'm like, oh, man. And so I curled my head down and just went. And the rest of the day, I was just like, I ain't turning my head anymore. That was fun.
So you landed on your face?
No,
Oh.
I should have, because your head is designed to go back that way. Your head is not designed to crinkle down into your chest.
Yeah,
That's why they teach you
okay.
to tackle with your head up.
Oh.
But instead, I crinkled and went.
I thought the trick was that when you were falling from something, you maintain eye contact with the ground.
I made eye
as possible.
contact with the foam pit until the last second.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Why would you maintain eye contact with the ground?
I don't know. I've
Squirrels
heard that. Yeah, I've heard that squirrels do that, cats do that. Like, yeah.
But they're contorting their body in the process of.
Well, they're orienting their body around a fixed
Yes.
point, which is the ground, and that's why you're supposed to look at the ground.
Okay.
Whereas we stare at the ground and go, damn it, this is going to hurt.
It's gonna suck.
Okay, so I have one question then. Do chimpanzees look at the ground when they're trying to hit that?
I don't know. I don't know if anybody's done a drop test on it.
Well, yeah.
Okay. These are things that are known for landing on their feet. This is,
Yeah.
Well, that's my thing. Is do chimpanzees land? This is so we've clearly taken evolutionary
spider
paths,
monkeys,
right?
Yeah.
They're real tree people.
Well, I know it's like squirrels. You can huck them off like a 60-story
Yeah.
building, and they'll land just fine.
Yeah.
So
All
because
because they have no weight. That
well, they don't have a lot of weight, but they're also designed where, like, basically, if they fall from anything, they know how to land at it. And what is that called? Terminal velocity?
Well, have you seen the Mark Roper squirrel booby trap thing?
Oh yeah,
Oh, it's super cool.
this is the guy who made the glitter bomb.
Yeah, it's super cool. But he has this one where he booby traps a thing and it launches the squirrel into a net. And so he broke down the science of it, of like the squirrel sees where it's going to land and keeps its eyes on it as it contorts its body. And then so it opens up its body to like resist falling, and then it curls it in when it needs to finish the
when it's
turn.
really close. Yeah.
Right. No, well, because there's a couple of different forces here at play. So yeah, you talked about terminal velocity. It's different for different objects, right?
Is it?
Oh yeah. Well,
Oh yeah,
because
that's the whole
some
apple in the left.
things won't reach terminal velocity. Like
Right.
you drop a feather, it's never going to hit terminal
reach terminal
velocity. So when you have something that's lighter and is falling and can actually adjust its to some extent, like can't all squirrels sort of adjust their?
Oh, yeah. Because if
Like-
it opens out, it
Yeah.
I mean, it's not full flying squirrel, but
No, that's why you don't see them taking headers off of like skyscrapers all the time, because that would just be funny. But
squirrels rule New York.
Going down.
you just sit there when you go to the park and you watch it, like, this is great, right? Whereas,
They're like, these idiots up here feed us everything. You just-
yeah. So that's what I don't know if, dogs, cats, squirrels, and like chimpanzees, we've taken different evolutionary paths. So what I don't know is if chimpanzees look at the ground or they're just kind of like, no, I have to climb
well,
slow.
I know dogs don't.
No, doctor.
Because if you pull them like on their back and drop, they're like having a heart attack. Their arms are like flailing everywhere. So
Yeah.
cats just go.
Well, yeah, it depends on the cat, but
Yeah, there's some dumb
yeah,
ones too.
there
Yeah.
are some stupid
Yeah.
cats out there. Some,
There's some cats that just sort of they don't control forces around them. They just let forces happen.
right.
Right.
William, is this your management enforcement device?
That is my keep my screen alive device.
Oh, got it.
So
So,
that I don't get in trouble with work, even though there's somebody else there.
because I'm not, because you're working. Right?
I am working.
You got it, okay.
They told us, well, one of the guys we had a meeting yesterday, and one of them said that they think they're going to have the building up by August.
Boo.
I don't think it's, but even he said, I don't
Yeah.
think that's possible, but they're telling us it could happen. So I hope not, but we'll see.
Nah.
No, I'm sorry, buddy.
I don't ever want to go to an office again, but
Nor do I.
Yeah, I mean,
What if
either. No. So, they did not cancel my class, though.
Did somebody enroll?
8 people enrolled at once.
oh,
Coach must have jumped somebody's shit. Yeah.
coincidence.
Yeah.
Man.
What class was it?
It's a stats class. I was praying that they were going to cancel it. So,
How close was the deadline?
it was like next week. So, damn it.
What coach talked their kids into taking stats?
I have no idea, but 8 of them popped in one day. So, my guess is that somebody on some team or something
Said it's an easy
said,
pass.
you got that class is not easy. That's the hardest class that I teach, and I actively scare people away from it.
What?
Yeah.
What is going on?
I don't know, man. It's just like, oh, well, I need to knock this out, so I'll take it during the summer. And their class has like a 40% fail rate.
Oh my gosh. That was a terrible idea.
Oh yeah. Well, it's condensed like 8-week course, man. It's a bitch. So
Well, my organic chemistry I took during summer was way better than if I would have taken it during the regular.
was it
year.
easier?
Well, the guy couldn't really speak English that well,
Oh, cool.
so he just straight up said, "I'm going to basically give you all the answer kind of things here. Pay attention. I'm going to go over it all, but I understand you can't understand me that well, so I'm not here to try and trick you. This is going to be what the information is." I was like, all right, I can do this.
I can learn to listen through your accent. Yeah. I had a guy, when I was, what did he teach? I think he taught astronomy. And he had the thickest Polish accent. It was fucking impossible to understand.
Some of them are, man.
Yeah. So he was like Poland before the wall fell. Kind of.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Classic Polish.
Classic. Yeah, like communist Polish.
Did you make jokes at his expense?
I don't recall doing that.
I used to do
I never
that.
got the whole Polak thing. So, I mean, one of your friends was a Polak, and so you can get a rise out of him a little bit, but
Yeah, well, because the fun point of that was instead of saying when the joke was how do you blank Polak, right?
right,
You would just put you, right? You would talk directly out, right? So you say like,
right,
so how do I get a one-armed you out of a tree? You wave,
right, yeah,
right?
yeah,
Did he give glares, or did he just be like...
He was kinda sick of it.
yeah. He had been hearing it forever, man. Yeah,
That's...
it's like, haha, yeah,
Well, no, I mean, there was a good repertoire of them for a while, right? There was, I don't know.
Why was that a thing, though?
Well,
Where they came up with it?
Yeah, where did that come from, man? I never got it. It was like, well,
It just was the joke.
it was just a joke.
here's my understanding of the origins of Pollock jokes, because there was some contention about this when I saw them discuss it. Supposedly, this goes to the early days of World War II,
Okay.
when the forces that fought against Germany,
Right.
okay, were not up to Germany's standards.
None of them were for quite a while.
So the whole idea behind this is like the dumb Polacks came to attack us with sticks, you know,
Oh, okay.
in our big metal machines. But when
So those jokes come from Nazis? That's wonderful.
I've heard that. I've heard that, and that may be just something that's just like something that was passed down, like. You know, some poor like Polish kid is talking to his mother after an afternoon of being picked on, and he's like, "Mama, why do they?"
See, you're not helping things, right?
No, I just please. And you know, and then she would. It's like, think back to days of World War, right? You know, and
Right,
she's
yeah.
like trying to.
You're not helping us.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when in the last 20 years did it die away?
I think you got called out for being stupid.
Because I guarantee you, if I brought up a dumb Pollock joke to my son, he
Oh, they wouldn't get it. No clue.
So it didn't.
Dude, I could
just,
bring it
like,
up with my students. They'd have no fucking
Didn't
clue.
just like die. It just completely just
Yeah.
appeared off the face of the earth.
Dude. Well, I mean, I think that was just like that was a phase. Like that was just a thing, and I don't know. I don't know what.
It's like parachute pants.
Yeah, I don't know what factory in like Santa Fe was manufacturing Pollock jokes.
Right.
But I can tell you that sometime in like the early '90s, they got a different order and they said Pollock jokes are out, dead baby jokes are in.
Right.
And then they made those for a solid
Yeah.
5 years.
I don't know. None of those are classics, though. So
There's some good ones.
I guess that, but I mean, there's like no staying power. So amongst any of those, like not like I mean, you can always have like the three guys walk in a bar kind of joke. You know,
Yeah.
where that one's like forever. You know. Whereas, you know, the Pollock thing just like Will said seemed to just you know, yeah.
Well, what do you do
I don't remember
eventually?
too many of the dead baby jokes. Was that all the abortion stuff that was going on at the time?
There was some.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know how many dead baby jokes are you going to rifle off here.
Oh.
No, I'm not
Yeah,
doing
I
it.
don't-
no,
gonna do
like
that,
no,
yeah.
no. What do you want? Like, say if I gotta sit there and say like, "Hey, Patrick," and I'm speaking to the two guys with kids. Okay, so let's do this.
Right.
So, Patrick,
Yeah.
what's the difference between a stack of dead babies and a car?
I don't know, Jeffrey.
I don't have a car in my garage.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't get it, man. So that was funny at some point in time.
Okay, here, I'll hit you again.
Well, now you're just fishing.
I got a better one.
Okay.
No, it's fine. What's the difference between a dead baby and a sandwich?
I don't know.
Oh, fuck the sandwich before I eat it. So
I do remember
this,
that
yeah,
one.
this is
Yeah.
the thing. Is it was just okay. So I can say this is there was a while when you could go to like Barnes and Noble,
Right.
and you could go into the humor section and you would find books that were like 101 truly tasteless jokes.
Yeah, I seem to recall some of
okay.
those.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so a lot of things, I feel like Pollocks were something that you picked on in those books for a while, and then it moved on to like abortion jokes, dead baby jokes, and eventually it wrapped back around to like black jokes.
Well, those were always there. So
Yeah, they come and go.
they do. They're not as constant as like Mexican jokes or
No, because Mexican jokes are just watered down versions of
black jokes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Only sometimes you gear them towards like work sites.
Right. Yeah.
Right, because when you go to a porta potty, it's a Mexican space shuttle, not a.
We talked about that before. I keep forgetting about that.
I know. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. Whenever you see when you see a cart full of tools, that's a Mexican parade float, right?
I guess I haven't heard that one. So
I haven't heard that.
Yeah, I hadn't heard that one.
Fine. It's fine if you haven't. But then I'm just saying, like these things, come and go. Patrick, let me ask you. How do you starve a Mexican, Patrick?
No, I'm not going to answer this one because I think this one is deeply racist.
Of course it's racist.
Yeah.
These are all racist. How do you do it?
No, I'm not going to answer that, man.
No. What do you hide under their work
I'm not going
boots?
to tell you, man.
Implying that they have to work to get this?
If you need to drag the
that's
entire
fine.
fucking joke out, go for it.
No, that's fine. It's fine.
You just want to say it on YouTube, don't you?
We're not doing this for the purpose of glamorizing these jokes or saying that these are great. I'm just telling you there are some evergreens that seem to come up every 10 years, right? Sometimes the actual...
I've heard that one ever since I was a kid.
I know.
So,
that's what I'm saying. Same thing, the one about tamales. You remember that one?
No, and I don't want to hear it. So,
But Patrick, they have to have something to unwrap at Christmas.
no, I don't think. Oh, Jesus, Jeff. You're just enjoying yourself too much. So,
I'm only saying these ones because these are the ones that
yeah, I'm only saying you
million
got to put it out there.
times when I was young.
Right. I don't know. I honestly haven't heard anybody actually tell me one of those jokes.
In a long time, no.
High school.
Well, no, since like maybe I was working in a warehouse or something like that. It's like, hey, I got this good joke. And it's like, you mean the one that we all know?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, oh, I didn't know if you knew it. So I was like, yeah, I know that one too. So, you don't hear jokes like that on the university. Yeah.
Ew.
No, you get all before the EEOC committee. Yeah.
That is fast. Like, you
Real
probably
fast.
can't even say the punchline.
I don't even think you can say the setup
Yeah.
without getting in trouble. Yeah.
Like, but I didn't say it. We know what you were going to say.
So you thought it like enough. Part of it leaked out of your mouth, So
I could see one
it's your
possibility.
ass job. Your ass goodbye.
I could see one possibility.
What?
You would have to have a completely foreign professor, right? And even then, that would be a stretch.
It would depend, man.
What
So,
if
What
the
if?
punchline wasn't about Mexicans, it was about whites?
That's what I'm saying.
I don't think that
it'd
would
be
fly.
something like
You don't
that.
think that would
No,
fly?
I don't think that would fly either.
Or somebody that was from their region, right? Like if they were like, what do you call a Portuguese person that,
Does what?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going with it.
No, but let's
It's like, wow, you got Portuguese jokes?
no. Because, look, I'm sure the Spanish have plenty of jokes about the Portuguese,
Sure.
but if they busted out one of those, right? Because we don't pick on the Portuguese here.
I don't know anybody from Portugal. I can't even think of anybody that I've ever met who is from Portugal.
I knew one person who'd been to Portugal.
I've known a few people who've been to Portugal.
That's it.
Yeah. I've known a few people from Brazil.
Yeah.
They are not Portuguese, though. They're
Nope.
Brazilian. Yeah, no.
Some speak Portuguese.
They all speak Portuguese. And they all speak Spanish, too, which is kind of interesting. So, say, like, that's the easy version of Portuguese.
Yeah. That's sort of exactly how it's been put to me.
Yeah. No, I think you get drummed out of campus pretty quick with any of those. Still, even at this point in time.
You know what? Actually, hold on. There is a class of racist jokes that I do hear even to this day, and a lot of it is self-deprecating.
What kind?
Jewish.
I haven't heard one of those in a long time. So
You know what?
I don't know that many Jews, though.
For being, well, I'm going to say this is for being written by like a 95% Jews. There are a lot of Jewish jokes on like Family Guy.
Yeah, that's true.
There's jokes on everything there.
Yeah, but I mean, there's a high concentration of. Well, I mean, that's true of like a lot of different parts of. I mean, like Seinfeld was like all Jewish. It's most popular show in America, and it's like, you're really speaking to what, 1/8% of the population.
1/8%, and more so. That show is really Manhattan centric.
Oh yeah, no, it's very. I thought they were in Brooklyn.
Well, I mean,
They were in Brooklyn?
I thought they were. I don't remember though. I might be wrong about that.
That's where I wanted to go to.
Brooklyn. Yeah. You.
Oh, no, I wanna go to
No, they
No,
weren't.
it was Brooklyn.
No, it wasn't.
Okay.
It wasn't Brooklyn.
Where was it?
It was in Manhattan.
It was in Manhattan.
They all had like family in the different boroughs and stuff. Like I can't remember where George's parents lived, but like they would go to the other boroughs, but they were.
See, I didn't think it was in Manhattan. I know Friends was in Manhattan. So.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay. I don't know. It's been a long time since I've even taken a look at that show.
I didn't know which part it was in when I watched it, so.
Yeah.
Well, because they don't sit there and they don't do the bullshit where they're like, oh, we're Manhattan strong or whatever. But I mean, they are.
Burrows and stuff.
Yeah, they're not doing that. There's. I can tell you they weren't on Staten Island. All right, I can tell you.
No, this is in Jersey Shore, man.
Yeah. I mean, I can tell you they weren't on Long Island because they had to go to Long Island.
Right. Yeah.
So it's going to be Brooklyn, Queens, or Manhattan.
Right.
And I don't recall them saying. I don't recall on the show ever them actually identifying which spot they're in. But
I don't think so either.
the only thing that they would do is they would intersperse parts of like the city as part of like their destinations.
Yeah.
Right. And I was kind of, and this could just be like stock footage, so they could have just been like,
I guarantee it was.
well, it's not like it's they filmed in New York. It was we trying to go out there and get some.
Did they film it in New York?
No way. Did they?
I don't know.
Seinfeld?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
Did
I
they?
thought they filmed in a studio. So,
It could be anywhere.
because doesn't it have that door that's like impossible? So
the
this was-
room doesn't.
Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah, so it was actually done in the
of course.
studio,
No,
right?
no.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, because it wasn't like a big tie that because there's a bunch of stuff that was shot in New York at the time because of like the NBC buildings and all that stuff.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, I forgot about that. They used to have all the studios in Rockefeller Center.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess I just assumed it was made in California.
You know, that's fine.
It's kind of a good default for any kind of like television.
Well, shit. Like if you want to get down to brass tacks right now, anything that's California is like filmed in Toronto anyway. So
Yeah, that's true.
there's two places that they film nowadays is Toronto and Georgia.
Georgia?
Yeah, they film in tons of stuff in
Like the country Georgia or like the state?
no country the state of Georgia, yeah, Atlanta.
Okay, that one. All right, not the one that.
No, not
Yeah.
the one that's near a global conflict.
Right, yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
I was like, well, yeah, I can see them doing Game of Thrones there or something, but you know,
I don't know. Like
so
every one of those Marvel movies is filmed in
Georgia, huh?
Because Georgia evidently has lots of places that look like lots of other places, just like Toronto.
Oh, that's true. Yeah,
Yeah,
so yeah, and I'm sure they have tax breaks for their.
considerable.
Yeah, that's why. Like, that's the whole reason why Breaking Bad was actually filmed in New Mexico. So it's because they got a screaming tax deal. So, or AMC did, and so.
Yep.
With the governor at the time, who is actually on the Epstein list. So
What a god!
yeah, no, I've actually been looking into this a little bit more lately, man.
Really?
Yeah, the FBI has the tapes.
All right.
They do.
Talk about it.
So I don't know anything about it. So, but they actually got FOIA'd, and it came out that they actually did. They fucked up the warrant originally when they went to his house, but they labeled and cataloged all the and he has like just this library of fucking tapes. And so they labeled and cataloged all of them. And then, you know, his lawyers are like, well, we can't take those, you know, that's not part of the thing. And they're like, oh, you're right, we can't. Okay? But we know what's here, and when we get the right warrant, we expect to get it. And sure enough, they complied like 4 days later. So they're in the FBI's hands. So,
They didn't just bring in a whole bunch of blank tapes, huh?
no,
Blank tapes.
blank tapes.
Blank tapes.
Home
Yeah.
videos. The kids growing up.
No, that's fine. They're just blank tapes. He was gonna record a whole bunch of like fucking baseball games, but
He's got those ones. I saw another meme the other day. It was like things from the 90s that you'll never see again. It was a whole bunch of blank VHS cassettes
Oh, yeah.
with the sleeves on them. And
Yeah.
I recognized all the fucking sleeves, like the Sony one, you know, the
Maxwell's.
Maxwell, yeah.
What's the yellow one? Was that
I think that was a Sony one.
Sony?
It's white with a yellow like triangle or.
Well, there was one that was like pure yellow. And then
Oh, I had a couple Kodak ones coming.
those
over.
were the Kodak ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there were the Scotch ones, the
Oh, the
3M
Scotch
ones.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I don't think these are on VHS.
I do still have my VHS player.
I do not.
I thought I just saw it the other day somewhere. I think I still have it.
All right, so I'm pretty religious about chucking stuff. I do have one upstairs.
Do you?
It takes up like this much space, and it's in a closet.
Oh, yeah, that's
So-
fine. Keep that.
There's a
Just in case something, you never know.
I actually got lucky. But my Xbox went Tango uniform when I was in Arizona.
yeah.
I came back and I was like, well, shit. And I tried to get my 360 to work downstairs and it works fine. Okay. But then I was like, oh man, my daughter's got all these DVDs. It's like, oh, you can't play those anymore. And sure enough, I went into my closet and I had a Blu-ray player from a couple of moves ago. And I was like, yeah, man, I guess you're back in business, baby. Yeah, it was kind of odd, man. So, but I did go through my closet of electronics the other day and threw out a bunch of cables that you just can't use anymore. So,
Cable, yeah, that's probably
the actual what are they, the 75 OHM, the actual cable.
Coax?
Coax, thank you. Yeah. I had a shitload of that stuff. And I was like, I was sitting there thinking about it, I was like, is there any possible use for this?
Yes.
What?
One.
What?
That is the cable that actually brings the cable modem into.
I have DSL, so no. So
didn't know.
yeah.
Yeah, okay,
No,
that's
I was
probably it.
I was
Yeah.
cooked. So I was trying to think of anything.
It's not even like flexible enough to use it for anything. Like it is
Or
just
you gotta like
horrible
tie something on the
cable,
top of my car or something.
it's just terrible. It never coils right. It's just a giant mess.
Yeah, there's coax. Like I don't know how many TVs actually support an S video input now.
Oh, I haven't seen one of those in a long time. Yeah. Or even the old RCA jacks in them.
Yeah, I know some people still use component for things.
That's what that's called. That's right, component.
but
I think both of my TVs still have component jacks on them.
some do.
Yeah.
So a lot of them just don't anymore.
No. No,
I think the big ones do still because they've got enough room for all the stuff. But all your little ones, like they're just like, no, we don't.
they're all HDMI.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, there's either HDMI or there's one other kind of port, and that's the. It's
They'll have USB too
sometimes they'll have
because
USB.
you got to plug in your Fire Sticks. And
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
But I can't remember what it's called. It's not DCI. It's
Oh, I know
like
what you're talking about.
DHMP or something.
DCMI or something like that.
Yeah,
It's that one right
Yeah.
there on your Jeff's computer. So, I remember for a while there, we weren't sure which direction that one was going to go for a
What do you
little bit. Like, I don't know. I remember, like, I do have one TV that's got, like, all of those on there.
Oh, yeah.
I've used most of them,
Yeah.
over the years, just depending on the console that I had. So, but then, yeah, I wound up not even using the Xbox 360, although it still works, because I was like, I can get a $12 Fire Stick.
Right.
Yeah, and this is just, it does all the things. Yeah. So, I'm officially console-less at this point in time. I don't know if I feel bad about it, because I've basically migrated everything over to my Steam account. So, since I joined the master race. Yeah.
I don't really draw that distinction anymore because a lot of that has now gone away.
Yeah.
A lot of these, like, I don't care which platform it is, you do have crossplay, but that would only matter if I were actually playing games against other people, and I don't.
I don't either. Yeah.
And more to the point, I like you guys, and I still don't want to play games with you. This is, well, number one, there's a good chance that if I start texting you guys at like 4:15 in the morning, it'll be like
You're gonna get radio silence
it's
out
like,
of
no,
me.
you asshole. I don't want to fucking like, get on your Minecraft server.
I'm on.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh, well,
I have to be awake now.
Yeah. So I don't think you want to do that. But on top of that, it's like, I don't really want anybody's input right now. This is
Right.
for me to tangle the Gordian knots of my mind, not anybody else's.
Yeah, no, I'm the same way about gaming. And like even the games that I used to play on the console, I've got a couple of them on the PC now. I just play with the gamepad and with the Xbox controller.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah,
it's great. You know.
That's what my kids do.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's the finest controller on the market. It
Yeah.
works great. You can use the little, wireless dongle, or like me, you just plug it in.
I just plug mine in. Yeah. So
Yeah, there's just
forgot about the wireless dongle though. I wonder if I have that.
You can just Bluetooth it.
Yeah. Yeah. I got a
Bluetooth-
cord though, man. It works pretty good.
Bluetooth has this much input,
Really?
Does it?
teensy bit.
Oh,
Yeah,
I did
teensy,
not know that.
teensy bit.
Well, obviously my kids don't notice enough.
Well, they got used to it. So all games are like that, Dad.
Although for one of them, it's like DDR that they play, and
What is this? DDR?
like Dance
It's
Dance
like
Revolution.
that mania.
Oh, okay.
But
Yeah.
it's God, what's is it? Friday Night Funkin' is what they play, and so every once in a while I'll see them go to the keyboard
Yeah,
because they seem to get it better. Although I still don't know how people can hit all those arrows. I just don't get it.
That's nuts. Yeah.
I just my
Brain
mind
doesn't work like
cannot.
that.
They have like three. It's just the whole screen's full of arrows. I'm like, I just don't get it.
girl, I'll show you some things that'll blow your mind.
I won't get it. It just doesn't make sense to me that your finger. Even when I was young, there's no like. I've been like, no, that's stupid. That doesn't. They're just mashed every way. But no, people are getting like perfect scores. I don't know.
No,
Yeah,
man.
and then do that with your feet.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I don't know. No, I don't get it.
I get it. I just don't care. Like, in a negative way. I just like there are.
Are they doing it based upon what they see, or just that they've memorized the routine?
A little bit of both. If you're asking, like, okay, so when it comes down to those things, yeah, you basically there's like a preemptive step, right? So if you're doing that like on foot, right, you know the pattern because like each step that you take has to put you in position for the next one,
Right.
And the same thing goes with basically, doing the 4 key is you have to be preparing for what you're seeing there. Okay. The thing that you're not noticing there is that everything that's going by is essentially just a broken down step. Okay. So if you see like 4 beats here, okay, that's one thing that you play. So when it comes up here, bum, 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 okay. And you'll see these repeated, right? So it's like, I've got a 4, cascading this way, this way, this way. So you start, the musicians will be able to tell you about this because, yeah, they're seeing that as like note steps, okay?
Oh, okay.
So you see like a measure coming through, okay? You know what that's coming. Your fingers don't think left, up, right,
That's exactly what my brain does.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Okay, and for us dorks over here who haven't played anything complicated, like, because we'll sit there, we'll listen to somebody like shred on a guitar. Do you know how many fucking notes? If you wrote this down on a piece of paper, right? You'd think somebody's just scribbling.
Yeah.
Okay, you're just looking at a series of like 16, notes, and you're like, you're out of your mind. I don't understand this, but for them, it's just like, right?
Yeah, they know where they're going with the sequence.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
right? And sometimes for them it's just because they wrote it. Like, okay, I gotcha. But yeah, for people it's just like because they know the movement. Okay, and it comes back, right?
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah.
But if you're talking about just getting in there and going in there raw, no, of course you'd be like you're sweating up a storm.
I butt mash.
Yeah,
What else are you gonna do?
Yeah, that's all I can do.
Yeah, you just break it down and you see it as the individual measures, and yeah.
Fair enough.
Again, I don't care. I get it,
That's not my
but I
thing.
don't care. Well, because it's the same. Look, there's a version of this that came through with like the games that we used to play, right? So when you'd go out there and you'd go play Cutman stage, right? And you'd go ahead and get to them. There's a pattern that you follow, right? And you know this because it's like, okay, so he killed me the first time because I didn't do this, this, and this. So I know that the next time I get to him, do this, this, this. Then the pattern will change. And then it's this, this, and this. And then this, and he's dead. Right? It's a sped up version of that with all of the like good breaks that your brain needs to like digest and enjoy the experience.
Gotcha.
Without like completely melting your circuitry.
Because yeah, this is what I'm saying. You guys have all done a version of this. It's just
And I'm terrible at that.
you're welcome to be.
Yeah.
That's the thing. That's why I can look at this and say, cool, not for me. I'm glad you like it,
Yeah.
right? It's like when you and I talked about golf. You know,
Yep, not for me.
I really appreciate the technical ability.
Yeah. Yeah, not going to put in more time on this one.
You know,
Topgolf is fun.
I have not been there. I hear it is
Oh,
a lot of
really?
fun. No.
That's cool. Like,
My brother's been there a couple times.
just go smack the ball. It's like going to a batting cage.
Right.
You don't have to play baseball. Just go take some swings, call it a day, and don't have to chase anything down.
I hear it's pricey.
I don't think it's crazy.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's up north, right?
There's one somewhere here in the Springs.
Yeah, I think it's up by Bass Pro.
Okay.
Something.
yeah, because previously you had to go to like the boondocks out
You had to
near
go-
Denver,
You had to go up to
Yeah.
like south.
Denver. Yeah,
I think it
There's
was.
one in the South Denver.
Is there?
Yeah, I think it was north of Castle Rock. So yeah,
Yeah, it's in the.
yeah, it's in Cherry. It's in Cherry Creek. Yeah, it's in Cherry
course.
Creek. Of course, naturally.
Yeah, I had a guy he'd moved here from South Korea about a year ago, right? And he was saying that golf is huge in Korea.
Oh yeah.
If you want to play golf, you make an appointment like 6 months out.
Holy shit.
But you also have to make like appointments like 3 to 4 weeks out to do like a Topgolf, or a lot of places have like the electronic one where you go in the booth
Oh yeah,
there too.
yeah. I've done one of those.
And even that's a month wait.
Holy shit. Is it just because there's not many golf courses?
There's no space. Probably.
It's
My understanding was like Korea was only like really crowded in one spot, and that was Seoul, and the rest of it was actually pretty chill. So I don't know. I might be wrong,
well, the way that so
but it's like almost half the country's population lives in one city. Yeah. So,
yeah, but that's the thing is so there's my understanding is it's kind of like in Japan where they talk about like, so you go to their super cities there and you think like, oh my god, this is Japan, but if you drive enough out this way, you go over to the mountains,
yeah.
right? It's just countryside.
Yeah, it's countryside.
Right.
Yeah, in fact, the countryside in Japan is emptying. So
Yeah.
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 So Japanese are actually talking about maybe doing a little bit of immigration, just maybe.
There's a
You could
theory.
be- you could
Losing
be-
people?
Huh?
They're losing people?
Oh fuck yeah! Oh, bad.
Whoa.
Oh, they're not
Yeah.
bad. South Korea, man. South Korea is losing people like crazy.
Everybody in the East Asian area.
Everybody.
is-
China's gonna crater. So
They're in the worst. If China's
China's the worst.
they're doomed.
They're absolutely doomed. They're gonna have, what is it, in 2050? I think it's by 2050. Like, what is it? It's supposed to be like 65% of their population will be over the age of 65.
Yeah.
Oh my
Great.
god.
Yeah, it's absolutely nuts. And so now they're encouraging people to have like 5 or 6 kids, but most people are like, fuck that. I can't afford the one that I have. So yeah,
Wow.
it's weird, man. But then there's like other countries like Russia is really bad. Russia loses so many people every year. My understanding was that Germany was actually fairly stable now.
I think they're close to neutral.
Yeah.
Yeah.
France was shrinking. So
shrinking.
England was shrinking.
England is...
Where are they all going?
Yeah,
It's just people aren't having as many kids as they used to. So, yeah.
yeah, and England is... They let in refugees
they
and they
do.
let in foreigners, but they don't like it. Well, okay, let me say this. So here's the... My understanding is this is how it breaks down in the UK. Okay?
Yeah.
So there are foreigners all over London.
Yeah, but that's the only place where they are.
And it is the rest of the island that is like, I hate going to London.
Right. Yeah.
What happened to my London?
Right.
And that's, again, this is where you talk about, do these jokes that we talked about resurge? Yes, it depends on who's coming in. So, like, Germany has a new wave of jokes about refugees that came to their country.
Do they?
Yes, I'm not going to
okay.
go into it.
Yeah. No, I don't know any of them. So.
And my understanding is, like, in London, it's like, so if you live anywhere in the country, you're like, I'll do anything to stay out of New Pakistan, you know, or...
Oh, okay.
Right? Again, that's just, you know, some takes that I've seen from, like, hateful people, and I respect that, because that's...
Decorated race.
Yes. It's an opinion. It's a misguided opinion, but it's an honest opinion because they're speaking their truth. I'm not endorsing it.
Yeah.
But they wouldn't say that unless there was something.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is England has historically been anti-immigration for a long time, man.
Yeah, well, and I mean that's like, I don't know the entire story behind it, but I know that's a big driver behind the whole Brexit thing. So it was basically getting control of the immigration laws.
Correct.
Again. More so than anything else. But yeah. So I don't think they're shrinking as bad, but like in the entire OECD, the only country that actually grows is United States.
Right.
You're standing on it, baby.
Yep.
Yeah. So
And there are many reasons for that, but it's because for all the shit that we have to hear from other countries about, you guys are rough to immigrants, like, tell me a story.
tell
Go
me a
ahead.
story.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. No, it is remarkably soft on immigration here in the country. We'll let just about anybody in, man.
The fucking the Polish caught shit because they're like, no, these are our borders. They're like, yeah, are they? And they're like, yeah, these tanks say these are our borders. Yeah, and that was where the rest of like Europe was like, we can't endorse this. Like, do something about
Do
it.
something about it. Yeah.
And then they did, but
Yeah.
but they were serious. They're like, we can't.
Yeah.
Whether or not they could or they couldn't, I don't know. But they were saying, like, look, I don't know which angle comes from this where it's like, all right, we can't afford it versus keep Poland pure. I don't know. Right?
Yeah.
But then again, yeah.
So I've heard that argument made in the United States a couple times about like the invasions of other cultures and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, it never works out that way, man. You can go to the most southern part of Texas, and you know the people there who are one generation removed from immigrants, like they're just as fucking American as anybody else.
Absolutely.
Down there. I mean, I saw this show on immigration on YouTube a while ago, and like the border cops down there, like almost all of them are fucking Mexicans.
Yeah.
So whose parents came over, like you know, like some like. At least a generation past, and they dress like cowboys. They look like cowboys.
They do. Absolutely, they do.
They all watch football.
Well, bro, it's what we've mentioned this before, but I mean, if you're talking about the microcosm where we first started seeing this, you know, Ellis Island, that sort of thing,
Right, yeah.
It's just whoever's the last in is the last in, the big
Yeah.
group, okay? Whoever the previous group was, you get elevated to white status, okay? So there was a time,
Yeah.
like, when you get to that port, where at first, like, Irish? Ew!
Ew.
Ew! Italians? Ew! And then, so then you get the next group in, and they're like,
Jews? Ugh.
yeah, it's like, all right, you know, I know that you Italians, especially you Sicilians, are closer to blacks than whites in some ways, But welcome to the White Club.
Yeah.
Right? Jackson's space right over there.
Right over there, yeah.
And we're going to park the Irish right next to you.
Yeah.
Right? And so then they come in. And then the next group comes in. It's like,
Ew.
and then, okay, well, you're honorary whites now. Dude, remember, people forget about this about California, right?
Oh, yeah.
But
it's full of Persians.
well, it's not just the Persians,
yeah.
but for a while they were like, I can't believe how many Japanese are here.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. No, yeah.
And for a while, the Japanese were the ones like laboring and like working in the pools and stuff.
For a while.
Right?
Yeah.
Those dudes got elevated to white status super fast. Right?
Oh, yeah.
And that's just the thing. Whoever the last one is, so that's one of the weird. This is one of the things that politically they're not liking right now, is because there was a lot of Mexicans that are now starting. It's like, no, I'm white now.
Right, yeah, I'm white.
Yeah, this is pretty cool.
We can't let more people.
Yeah, no, we
got stuff immigrations. Yeah,
because this is the other funny thing is like, so I've got. This is one of the funny things is like this is just like an outsider's perspective. They look at a place like Florida, right?
Yeah.
Especially like Miami. They're like, oh, this is all Latin American. Here's the thing.
no, it's not.
What I'm talking to, like, so you know, my favorite student, she's from Venezuela, right? It's like, well, how do you guys get along? It's like, well, so Venezuelans don't like Cubans. Cubans hate Mexicans.
Yeah,
Mexicans hate Venezuelans. All of us hate Colombians.
and definitely anybody from further south than that. So that's what I've
like
noticed.
Argentina or
Brazil is
Brazil,
like its own
yeah.
thing.
And and they're like, wait, aren't you all like sort of like Latin American? No.
No.
Oh no. We hate all of each other.
Yeah.
And that's one of the funny things is when they say like, well, shouldn't you Latin types be voting like this? Like, no, these guys came from Cuba.
Right.
Cubans hate communists.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you just want to see that dynamic in action, you just got to go like look at any prison in the United States. So there's the skinheads. So if you're white, you go into prison, you're a Nazi right off the bat. You get recruited in the Nazis.
Yeah.
Okay. If you're black, all right, there are two factions of those. What are they?
Oh, blacks?
Yep, Bloods and Crips still.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
If you're Hispanic, how many different things are there?
There's MS-13, right?
Well, no, not in prison so much. They sort explicitly by race.
Oh, by okay, so Puerto Rico.
No.
You mean here? Okay.
It's anybody from north. Okay, America is Norteño. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
And they do not get along with anybody who's south of the border of fucking Mexico. So yeah, so it's not even all of North America. It's just Mexico.
Okay, because my understanding, like, if you take that to say like New York,
Right.
then it's like Puerto Rico, West Indies, and then
It's Mexicans versus everybody. Yeah. So there's this really cool YouTube channel that I watched that is about guys who just got out of prison. They tell fucking horror stories. But that's one thing. They say the minute it doesn't matter if you go to state rig or the fed rig. So it doesn't matter, you know, whether it's like maximum security or, you know, minimum security prison. You 100% sort by race wherever you go. And he says, like, some of the states, it's worse, so some of them are better. Says in California in particular, you're not even allowed to associate with people from other races. So, like, if you want to sit down and play a game of checkers with somebody, you got to do it with a white guy. If you're a white guy, like, I wouldn't be allowed to associate with y'all. So,
They might call me. Would they call him Asian?
I don't know. Yeah, you might get away with it. I don't think you'd get away with it, man.
it depends on what I told them.
It does depend on what you told them, yeah.
Because it would be the only person that could fact check me would be another Korean, and they'd have to look and say like, "It's in the eyes."
But you shave your head. You probably like just are honorary into the whites.
Well,
you might
again,
be able to make a pass.
The argument is, what do you pass for?
Right.
All right. So I've heard this from other people. I say like, I've been told that I have enjoyed white privilege on the grounds that enough people think that I'm white.
You've been told that?
Yes.
I think I've enjoyed white privilege.
It was an academic discussion
Oh, okay.
where I said, this was specifically the question of, does privilege pertain to what your genetic breakup does or what you're identified by other people?
Yeah.
Does it matter what I mark on the sheet, or does it matter what other people see me as?
What other people?
Well, if you're going to prison, yeah. So, yeah. I don't know, though.
Well, yeah, I guess if you're applying to schools, then
Right.
it's what you
Exactly.
mark. But
Exactly.
interacting with the world, then
Then it's what they think you are.
Yeah.
But
what
most
they think
people
you
are like, I don't know what the hell you are. As my student Sammy once yelled, why do you have a black people nose?
Yeah.
Yes.
what was your response?
So, because I'm,
Black?
yes. I correct.
So did they all start laughing, or did everybody get real quiet when you said that?
Well,
It's like he might be.
well, I just, sometimes you just let it hang for a few.
Right.
And then
Okay.
it's like,
Yeah.
Not black.
I'm not black. Yeah. I'm just.
And then everyone goes, oh.
Well, no, it's not like they
Got
were.
weird. Got weird real fast.
Oh, no, well, nobody had to like sigh because it's not like they were cracking black jokes for 6 weeks, in front of me not knowing.
You mean
Right.
they didn't see you writing a checklist?
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Racist.
Just taking pictures of each one of the students. It's like, hold still for a sec. There we go.
Yeah, and I didn't like get. As I say that again. Say that again.
Say that
Yeah.
to my face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Say that while I hit this record button, please.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's this thing of like, so take this for example, right? Like when I started working with Native Americans, right? There were a lot of them. I was just like, oh, it's just working with Mexican guys. But then it turned out that there was a mix between,
Yeah.
because it was just rig hands, right? And so a bunch of them are Mexican. And because I was in North Dakota, they also had rules where you have to hire X amount of guys.
Right. Yeah.
Right. And that was my first experience really working. And I was like, I hate to say it, but I can't.
I don't know if
My eyes don't. Like, that guy's white.
Right.
That guy's.
and there's token.
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
Yeah. Sometimes.
Sometimes. Actually, that's a good question. When it comes to prison, do they also distinguish, like, do Jamaicans distinguish from?
No, you're black.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so like the gangs themselves, the way that it was explained on this channel, which is fascinating channel. But like almost all prison gangs in the United States fall into two categories amongst people who are black, and that's Crip and Blood. So you have Crip and Blood and you have like civilians. So, but if you're black, you're a black civilian, it just means you don't roll with one of those two crews, but you're still expected to hang out with your own. So, yeah. And so if you get out of line, then people think you're up to something. So, oh man, I don't ever want to go to prison. It sounds horrifying here in the United States.
Yeah, I'm okay.
It sounds absolutely horrifying. So, as compared to and sometimes they do shows with people from other countries, and their prisons are like fucking country clubs compared to what we have.
Yeah.
So, they're like, okay.
I've only seen the horror story one, so.
Well, apparently every prison in America is basically its own little horror story. There are no good ones. So, even if you're like,
Martha Stewart?
even if you're like Martha Stewart,
I have inside information.
her prison has gangs in it. So,
Okay. So she spoke about this at length, okay, because I did actually her story, that was one of
One of
mine.
your transfer.
Yeah. Now, the way that she basically described it was there were gangs, but they were really pussy gangs. So,
yeah.
Did she say that?
no.
Oh, I was like, oh, that's.
She said it Martha Stewart. She said it Martha Stewart style, but and she does surprisingly have a touch of class. But the the way that she broke it down was like, yes, there were gangs, yes, there were some incidents, right? But she's like, the only time I felt afraid, of course she was putting it out like this was the most horrible thing on the planet, but she said there was one period when she was walking from one place to one place and there was no supervision. She was like, well, if anything was going to happen there, it would have happened there.
Yeah.
Right? So I was afraid. But, I mean, what she's saying is like, well, because I was Martha Stewart, that let me do like arts and crafts, activities.
Hosting it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
where I was teaching this and people were getting like credit.
Yeah.
So yes, there are still gangs, but
it's completely different in men's prisons. So, yeah.
no doubt.
Yeah.
Yes. So, that's actually probably
Yeah, it's completely different. And then like Martha Stewart also, she got a pass because she was a known. So that's the thing is if you got any kind of like notoriety, all right, so or if people know that you have money, all right, they'll basically leave you alone. Okay.
Well, Jared Fogle has money.
I don't know if Jared Fogle has that much money after going through all that,
Subway?
but the Subway guy,
Okay.
They actually had a video on him. So, and that one, they said it would be a fucking miracle if he lives through prison. So, yeah. Well, they were talking about so he's what's known as a chomo. So, oh yeah, and so he's not going to have a good time in prison.
Yeah,
they're going to have to keep him in ADSEG, so the entire time. So, because if you get identified as being someone who's either a child molester, a rapist, which is just as bad, all right. So, and then, or if you're a snitch, those are the three things.
Yeah.
It's like you can do anything else, but if you actually tried to cut a deal with the district attorney, and now you're doing it for a reduced sentence, you're a snitch. They'll find it out in 5 minutes once you get in there, because every time the new dudes come on off the bus, they get somehow they
Story
get
of what it was.
they have contacts on the outside. Apparently, cell phones are pretty common in prison, and so they'll identify the individuals come off by their numbers, okay, and then they'll let their buddies on the outside know. Their buddies will go and look at the court records and see what they all did, and so they know what you did before you even get there. So before you have a chance to explain yourself. And so if you did anything that is like in the Jared Fogle family of things, they're going to put you by yourself, all right, where you go slowly mad, all right, and it doesn't take that long.
Well, it's not like there's not television in jail either. So it's, I mean, there's
oh, no, you're right, yeah.
Yeah.
No, they know, yeah.
And I mean, there is some things of notoriety that, yes, do not work on your behalf like that. But then again, like when Felicity Huffman and Lori Loughlin went to jail.
Oh, yeah.
It's not like...
I see some of their daughters showing up on my news feed now, trying to become Instagram influencers. And it's like every time I see one of them, I'm like, "Oh, it's you, the fucking cheater! Why don't you do some quote rowing for me?"
Yeah, there's something that does crack me up about both of those cases, right?
Yeah,
and it's the fact that because Felicity Huffman is married to William H. Macy. Right?
And he got off the hook somehow.
Well, because when it comes down to it, I don't think he had shit to do with it.
Okay.
I think it was just straight up I don't know. This is not my deal.
I remember
legitimately don't know.
I remember seeing him go through that trial and then thinking, it's like, holy shit, when did you get so fucking old?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man, he looked rough.
I mean, he's always kind of looked old. But
not that old. I mean,
no.
For what? Since he did whatever his last show, whatever. God, he was
his last show.
He was in for 5 seasons, and it was his life looked miserable. I never watched the show, but I saw commercials for it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And it just looked like he would get more gaunt, with each season that they showed.
Okay.
Before, and it's just
I think I know what you're talking about.
you need to stop the show, Eat food. Eat
food. Dude, go out in the sun for a little bit. You'll be all right. Yeah.
I think the kids call that touch grass.
Yeah, go touch grass. Yeah. So, no, I don't know. about those two girls, man. You have to see. It looks like they're trying to actually do something, but it's also like, how's USC treating you?
Yeah.
You know, I'd really like to know. I'd really like to know that. So,
Did they actually get to stay in the schools?
no. So,
Well, and the weird thing, of course, is yes, I know that they nailed these people, and no, I don't think that what they're doing is okay.
right.
The problem here is when you really broke down like the cases of it, and they're saying like, well, these are the big offenses. It's not like I was saying so, but it was like, I feel like they got you two because something must have been obvious, because I feel like this happens so frequently.
It happens a lot. So it happens a lot, especially in those, you know, so like USC.
I can't even imagine. Yeah.
I mean, it's a
Yeah,
good
that or-
goal, but, you know, you're not talking about something that's like on the level of Princeton here.
Yeah.
No.
You know, and kind of thing. Well, Harvard's got its own fucking problems.
Yeah.
So, which have yet to be fully sorted out. Well, all the Ivy Leagues do in some respects. But then, like your big state schools, like USC, you know, probably even here in Colorado in terms of like Boulder and maybe even Fort Collins, you know, you probably see some of that bullshit going on, you know, where like do some kind of padding on this and, you know, get some prep help, you know, to write my essay and, you know, do a whole bunch of SAT prep or whatever, you know, and shit like that. And it's just, it's like ridiculous, man.
Yeah. Well, especially for like USC, you know, with being like from those families.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I'm sure there's a piece of it. Like, that's where I legitimately feel like William H. Macy didn't have anything to do with it.
Probably not.
Right?
You would think your kid would be able to get into it.
There's like
Yeah, you
just
would think so.
try harder.
Yeah, just do your
then-
homework.
And then you're like, well, clearly you're not going to scholarship in.
And who cares?
Yeah.
You
who
know,
cares?
so you can't get in just with what we're paying. God damn it. You know, and, you know,
They're not going to give you a discount.
so, yeah, so there's a part where it's like, I'm sure that William H. Macy was like, okay, well, then she doesn't go to college, right?
Yeah.
Then tell you what, I'll give her a job sweeping up the shop or what,
Yeah. So,
or whatever, right?
well, I mean, that's so common amongst actors, families, and stuff
Yeah.
like that, too.
So,
It's
yeah,
like you start to realize, oh, wait, this person's related to all of them? Well, fuck them, too.
Well,
You don't realize there are 9 generations of you bastards coming out of, like, you know, the Douglas family line.
Oh, well, on top of that, either one of them could said, like, you know what? Come be an actress.
Yeah, come in.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I guarantee it. I guarantee
Yeah.
you they'd get reads. I guarantee you they'd get
yeah.
auditions.
Sure. The thing is like 90% of all those actors' kids are fucked up.
They're fucked up.
They're
They
way
suck.
fucked up. They're bad people, man.
They suck.
Oh,
they
constantly.
just, like, there's this, every now and then you catch one of them saying just something so beyond the pale of what is the normal expectations of a human being.
Right.
Like, you see a tweet that is so oblivious, right? Where, you know, they'll be responding to something where, like, moratoriums on, like, evictions in COVID.
Right.
And it's just like, well, why don't you use your TV money?
Yeah.
Or just, you know, like, don't you guys have parents?
Right, yeah. So, yeah, it's like, and you all live in LA. You should just be able to look around you and see a little bit of human misery. You know? Or, I'm sorry, a lot of it, you know?
Just that block down that way.
Yeah, just that, it's everywhere, man.
know.
You know, and it's just like crazy. So how like out of touch. I don't know, man. So,
And
I mean, there's a few exceptions to that rule. So there have been some like successful child actors, you know, or I mean, and children of actors who went on to have pretty good careers.
oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So I don't want to paint in too broad strokes, but then you know, there seems to be like this certain level of money that you come into just kind of scrubs your brain smooth pretty quickly in your life, and you never get the wrinkles back when you
No, but I mean, that being said, it's not like all of human society hasn't had a history of some form of aristocracy one way or another.
Oh yeah, no.
And this is just under a different tune. I mean, you know, it's funny because I'm reading like classic literature, with some of my students.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm trying to put some of this in perspective, right? Because in the case, and this is something that I did laugh at because I'm reading, Mary Shelley's Frankenstein.
Again.
Well, it's same student, right?
Oh, okay.
But there's a big difference between that and the film versions, all the film versions, and so there's this character that's supposed to be like the everyman, okay? Whereas Victor's name is Victor Frankenstein, you know that he's supposed to be taking a turn for the weird. So
Yeah.
their baseline for normal is a man named Henry Clerval, right? Who has the most normal name in the story, right? And he's supposed to be like the son of a merchant. He's not a college boy. He's taking over dad's business.
Yeah,
right?
okay.
But at the same time, when they're on a boat, he goes into like a full page flowery soliloquy about how much he loves trees, right? And how nice the air is up here.
Okay.
And I'm trying to point this out. I'm like, please do understand that a rich girl wrote this. This is her version of what she thinks a normal person
Okay.
is.
I see what you're saying.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay. Now,
Wow. Okay.
so there's this thing of like, if you're trying to be a super insulated daughter of like a celebrity and you're like, I'm going to try and write somebody from the ghetto, right? And
Oh, it never works, man.
right. So you've got
Yeah.
this like mixture of ideas of like, so I woke up this morning and I hunted a rat for sport.
Right.
And
I found a free hubcap. You know, it's laying here in the street.
it's like, I put on my hunting basketball jersey and it's like you're just drawing this shit from like what you've heard from like rap songs and,
Right,
and
yeah.
these other things. So I mean,
That's a good point. You know, we've seen a lot of that just in movies over the last like 10, 15 years, come to think of it.
the complete inauthentic.
Well, yeah, like the whole. I was thinking about this the other day when you're bagging on what were we bagging? We were bagging on Jurassic Park again.
Oh, really?
So I think so.
Boy, that comes up a lot.
It does, but you know, it was just like particularly apropos where it was like, oh well, let's talk about our middle class white people problems and my parents getting divorced and I feel bad about it, you know, and we're all bored because dinosaurs are stupid.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
And it was like,
yeah.
who the fuck wrote this? And then you go back
Yeah.
and look at it, and it's probably someone very similar to Mary Shelley. It was like, oh, this is what the masses would do after a little while.
Oh, yeah.
You know, not having any clue as to what they're actually, all about. So,
I mean, unless the argument, and I could be convinced of this, but they didn't communicate it in the movie, is that the clientele of New Jurassic Park is such a bunch of bougie Californians that, yes,
maybe.
they are bored, but if
you
so,
do have to
they,
get to Costa Rica to go there. So,
if that were it, they didn't communicate it.
right.
Absolutely did not.
No, it was supposed to be like Disneyland. So,
Right.
yeah. You know, it's the great unwashed who are allowed into the dinosaur park to watch goats get munched. So,
Correct.
which would never fly, by the way. You know.
Goats getting munched?
No. Yeah. I can't. Yeah, I don't think you do that. So, like, you don't feed the seals in SeaWorld live fish. They're already dead. You know.
No, like,
What if?
You
But there's
don't
certain
like
animals-
release the gazelles
But there's certain
into the
animals
lion.
that won't eat.
Huh?
There's certain animals that won't eat the dead.
I bet you can train just about any animal to eat anything through starvation
I don't know which one
techniques.
it was,
Yeah.
but there's a couple of them out there that
Well, you are a microbiologist.
Yeah.
I will defer to
they
you.
won't eat anything unless it's alive when they get to it.
I wish I could say that's true with cats, but it's not. Yeah. The one animal I do know a little, I have a little experience with. So, but yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, there's just like so many instances of that out there. You know, I don't know.
well, yeah, you're talking about like an incestuous writing of stereotypes into stereotypes, right?
It is, yeah.
And I mean, thereupon lies one of my biggest grievances with this current entertainment political climate is trying to pass off diversity as a character trait.
Right.
Just being from Puerto Rico does not a character trait make.
No, I don't know, man. I think audiences are getting really thin with a lot of audiences. So I just don't give a shit no more. You know, it's like, whatever, we got it. God, stop. I already did my HR training.
I get it, but there's two issues with that right now. Is number one, critics love it.
Fuck critics.
Well,
Who even pays attention to critics anymore?
they just look at the meta score. That's
I don't even do that, man. I just go read the plot summary on Wikipedia. Yeah,
what I'm talking about is the people who make the shows.
Oh, I see. Okay, got it.
So if they're seeing that thing, is it? Oh, okay. Well, what was hit in this '93? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Well, all right. It's the same story, but it's black,
Yeah.
right?
Actually, I had a question about that. So maybe you know the answer to this. So, like, how do they weigh what critics say against like market returns on certain things? So, like, I was going to ask you if you could think of an example of this. So, something that like the critics said this is fucking amazing, but then it just completely imploded. And they kept trying to make things like that until they stopped because obviously they don't sell.
No, I can give you a perfect example.
Perfect. What is it?
Denis Villeneuve.
Okay. I've seen the name written out. That's the first time I've heard somebody pronounce it.
I don't even have a clue what you just did there.
Well, in the proper tongue, if you just look at it, it looks like Denis Villeneuve.
Yeah, it looks like Villanueva. Yeah.
So that dude has been making nothing but big budget bombs, but he still gets to keep making movies. Critics like them.
Okay, which ones are they?
Well, so Blade Runner 2049.
Okay.
It got my $6 and I didn't love it.
Yeah.
And there were
I didn't
about
mind that one.
No, it's fine. It's just that it was boring.
It was a little boring.
It's not just that it was boring, it's that the B story is far more
way better than
interesting
the A story.
than the obligation that they had
Yeah.
to the A story, and they should have just told the B story.
Yeah.
Because that's the movie. Instead, it's an hour too long and it fucks up the lore of the original. Okay?
Yeah.
All right? So great. But
All right, so there's one.
But it was well, and he's the guy that made Dune. Dune didn't do hot at the theaters,
Oh, yeah.
partially because COVID, partially because it released simultaneously on HBO Max, right? But there's no version of this in the past. Well, I mean, there are some, but people don't usually get to make bomb after bomb. And he's got others, I can't remember, but he's got others where it's like, all he does is make big box office bombs, but the critics love them.
But the critics love them. Mm-hmm. All right. Yeah, I was just kind of curious about that because it seems like, I don't know. We've talked about movies a lot, but also at the same
time. Mine, then it's all right.
No, it's okay. It's just it's one of those things where I don't know how much more. Without actually going out and doing some research on it, I don't know how much more I can make in terms of inferences on it. But it just seems like the industry as a whole is starting to look a little skinny in terms of like its returns, how much it actually makes.
Well, it depends on who's making it.
Right, but it's getting they're like the split. I think Dune is the perfect example of this.
Mm-hmm.
So because that whole thing with where it dropped on HBO, that's where I saw it. HBO Max. I'm not gonna go spend $6 on it. So
it's hard to find the exact totals of what they're making now.
Is it?
I don't know if so many people are watching it streaming.
Well, yeah, that was my thinking. Is like so you can't really compare box office anymore because half of it's coming out on HBO Max and you get with the subscription anyway. I wonder how they get a slice of that, and if that's actually the model that's like sustaining them. So they're like, well, I can make shitty movies as long as they release it on HBO Max. So because I get guaranteed revenue regardless.
Or the Netflix ones, or
Well, you just hit the crux there of the Netflix implosion right now.
Right. What is going on with that? So,
Well, in terms of why it's
Yeah.
moving? Okay. Well, so
Is it
again,
just their content?
well, I think we talked about this a little bit.
I think we did, but
the Netflix issue right now is number one. It's hard to get a full grasp of things because of how insulated they keep their data, right?
right.
So there's a few different theories where Netflix was on top when they were basically the biggest game in town because they had deals, they had the Marvel movies, they had
They had Star Wars.
well, they had Fox movies, they had
Fox.
Star Wars, they had all the WB shit, and all these guys have now cycled out Discovery, all the shows and stuff with Discovery, right?
That's true.
So all these guys have basically made their own platforms. So they've gone ahead and Marvel's taken their stuff. They even took the Netflix
Yeah.
Marvel shows,
Yeah.
right?
Really?
Yeah. So they took all that stuff. The WB shit all
Gone,
went to
yeah.
HBO Max. Paramount, they
Gone.
have their own shit. Okay. So all that's left here is basically. So you can watch Major League. You can watch. You can watch Commando. You can watch.
Alien versus Predator.
Yeah.
Not even that. Alien versus Predator Requiem.
Yeah.
And then you have all the quote unquote originals, right? Which turns out are popular the week they come out.
Yeah, yeah.
Because we all talked about fucking Tiger King when it came out.
Right.
And then nobody heard a word about
I'm not
it.
gonna
No.
watch it again. Yeah.
Right?
No.
So when it came down to it, it's like, so what content do you have? It's like, well, the new Stranger Things is out like next week.
Yeah.
Is it?
It's coming out soon.
Somewhere soon. But who the fuck cares? Number one, it's been like 3 years since the last season.
Oh yeah, kids are gonna be fucking huge.
I know it's gonna
Yeah,
be
it's
so
gonna
weird.
be weird.
Right? So you got that. And is that all you have on your network? And then you say, all right, well, what else do you have? It's
Yeah.
like, well, we have a whole bunch of shit with like gay characters and stuff. Are you
Yeah,
into that?
yeah.
Like, you'd think so. But it turns out,
Not really.
from within where you live,
Right.
you think that every third person is gay.
Right.
But then it turns out there's a big swath of the country where it's like, nah, it's just straight white guys.
There's a lot. There's straight people in general, man. There's a lot.
No.
Yeah.
And so,
I mean,
you know-
really pushing the whole narrative on that one.
Well,
So, but like, it's so like, all right, so they were the big port, all the ships left, so to speak, and now it's looking pretty skinny. And, you know, the bullshit projects that they would push things like that when that's the only thing that they're actually left with, because you can't skip over that to go watch Iron Man.
correct.
Yeah, okay.
Because
So-
because the other thing, their biggest hits for a long time were, I shit you not, they were The Office and Friends,
yeah,
who have been pulled to their respective networks.
yeah. Office went back to Peacock, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, I think
and same
so.
thing with Friends is definitely. Shit, I can't remember who picked them.
That's NBC.
It was NBC, but I feel like somebody else got them.
Oh,
But it doesn't matter because they're not on Netflix. That's
Yeah,
for sure
yeah,
I can
yeah,
tell you.
yeah.
Right.
yeah.
And that was the thing. They sewed up all those contracts when you could get them for a song.
Right, and now they never ever getting those properties back.
No.
So yeah,
No. So Netflix is like, okay, why do I need them? And so we've seen.
shareholders feel differently.
Well, and so then you take that and then you say, well, so we have to do two things. You're like, what? We need to raise prices and cut down on password sharing.
Right.
Yeah, this is kind of like, you know, COVID's out there, so let's lock down the city. You know? It's just going to piss everybody off once they start running out of food. So,
So we saw the streaming contraction, and now we're seeing the expansion.
Yeah.
And the one thing, okay, so the one thing that Netflix had via going for this was that because they had so much like clout in one spot, okay, they could actually get dudes like Michael Bay and
Scorsese.
Scorsese to
Yeah.
come in there and direct high-profile movies for them.
Right.
They're not going to waste their time with this now.
No, they're not going to be able to afford it. So,
Frankly, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to make a prediction.
okay.
Okay,
Let's mark the time, shall we?
the guys who are really going to ultimately win the console wars or the streaming wars,
Yeah.
Amazon Prime,
You think so?
because it comes with you. want the 1 day shipping, so you have it.
Oh yeah.
So when people are looking at like, do I need to pay for like 5 different things? It's
Right.
like, well, I get this one for free.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's not free, but
Yeah.
it's you get movies and a computer desk the same day.
Right. Yeah.
Well, and then if they have dips and flows with their streaming service, they're backed by
Yeah.
all that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. The company's a beast. Although they actually had a bad
And a
quarter.
loss, yeah.
They had a loss for the first time in a while.
Logically, yeah.
Hey, it's going to happen eventually,
Prices,
man.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. Inflation is going to eat them. So, actually, it's going to eat all their subcontractors alive, come to think of it.
Probably.
Probably. So, well, I don't know, man. We'll have to see. The whole supply chain's still fucked up. So, and it's going to get worse before it gets better. So, who knows? You know?
It's a good question.
I'd like to see less things made in China. To tell you the truth. I worked really hard to find a fucking meat thermometer that was not made in China. You cannot do it. I don't think anyone is in the entire world make a fucking meat thermometer outside of China anymore.
Really?
I looked. I even use that little plug-in on
Cultivate.
Yeah, that thing's great, man.
Yeah.
So I actively try to avoid ordering shit from China, and that was one thing I had to give up on. I was like, nope, it just does not exist.
If it's like,
I need this. Here you go, China.
Yep.
it's true. I need to know what the meat is, and my finger's just not that.
It's really fucking hot. Yeah,
Well, if it's really fucking hot, it's done.
it's done. So, yeah,
Yeah, it's true.
yeah. So
Tell you taught her to cook that way. It's like, well, is there still skin on your fingers? Like, yeah, well, it's just not done.
it's not done. Yeah. Put it in broil for 10 more minutes and stick your finger in
And
it.
your daughter's a genius. She's like, Daddy, I think there has to be a better way. And you're like,
It's
it'll be a
impossible.
whole day before I buy something from China. That is not how that is not how Patrick's do it.
Right? Yeah. No, that was like the one thing, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
Look, I can tell you that I have that little plug-in has stopped plenty of my dollars from
Oh, yeah.
actually making it to those crooks.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah. So I don't mind spending a couple extra bucks on whatever it is that I'm going to spend. So regardless of where else it comes from, just because it's only a matter of time, man, before that cord gets cut one way or another.
Yeah.
So it's only a matter of time. So, you know, everybody's going to be in for a shock when that happens. But
oh, I agree. Yeah,
yeah, it'll be all right.
Yeah.
So
be all right.
actually, I think inflation was down. I mean, it's not going up as much as it was. I haven't bought gas lately. Did you have to buy gas?
Yeah.
It was like $4 the last time I bought it. What's it
Or
up to?
something still.
Oh, did it go up like a lot, or is it just like 403 or something like that?
I think it's still up there.
Yeah.
I didn't pay it. I don't even pay attention. I just
Okay, money bag.
just gonna pause. Well, I do not just to be like, okay, I'm only buying 10 gallons versus.
I've done that. Poor enough, man.
Well, I'm not that poor.
It's like I got $20, man. I got $20 in the checking account. So
Look us out at
if I go over on this one, I'm gonna have to go inside and explain myself.
Oh, look at Mr. Celebrity Son over here.
So I'm not supposed to write about the poor people in my stories.
Yeah.
Depends on what you say about
Yeah,
it.
that's true.
Some more gallons of gas. Who cares? That doesn't roll with people.
Well, you've had your poverty years.
I credited the crap out of it.
Credited?
Credit card.
Oh,
I carried, like, if I didn't get into the oil field,
yeah.
I probably would have gone bankrupt.
Oh, wow.
I was up to like 35 grand.
Oh, I've
and I
had
was
more than that.
I was like passing them from credit card to credit card for the 0% interest.
Oh, yeah, I never did that. I've got the same credit card that I've had since 1994. So I never actually lost my credit card,
You
but
have one?
I have one.
Whoa.
Yeah. And, but I think my wife and we got ours up to about 40 at one point in time. So that was when she was in law school. So, yeah.
I was just being idiot. Like I was even trying to make it back by gambling.
That's a bad idea.
Yeah. So I had my poverty years. I had all those things that they said, you might have a problem or you should. So make it through. You get a job in the oil field and then everything's good.
Yeah, everything's good.
You see, that's when, that's the out of touch, like, rich side talking, not you, because this is a true story, right?
Yeah.
But there's just, like, the whole, like, just get an oil field job, right?
Yeah, learn to code.
Now, that being said, that shit you can actually just learn on the YouTube.
That shit you can just learn on the YouTube.
But on the other hand, like, what about the oil field? It's like,
you gotta know a guy.
you gotta know a guy.
You gotta know a guy.
Yeah, it's gotta know a guy.
How do you know a guy? It's like, do you just hang outside the oil field office until somebody's like,
they take you in from outside the car? Yeah. So, I'm like, well, this one hasn't wandered off yet. Let him inside.
Yeah, you want to talk about similar names?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, yeah.
Straight up.
Oh man, the railroad's the same way.
Yeah.
We had so many father-son teams, so out there it was crazy. Brothers-in-laws, yeah, all kinds of weird shit like that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why they say, like cut out the oil field jobs and this. It's like, well, then those families can pull together and do just
Yeah,
fine.
all on like 50 acres apiece. Yeah, so, it'll be okay. You guys can be all right. Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see. I'm worried about raviolis, man. So they've been just like fucking flatlined lately.
yeah,
So,
flatline is a
Today
decent place
was
to be.
rough.
was it?
Well, everything that I own went down 5%. I got notifications.
Oh, see, I turned those off, man. Those are bad for your health. So,
I don't know. Those tell me to buy.
no, don't do that.
I'll
Yeah.
go buy this right now. This
No.
way down there.
You got to do cost-based averaging, man. You buy the same amount every month. So,
Well, yeah, I do my $50.
yeah, you're fine. So,
But right now, like today should be the day I go buy it. 'Cause it's all, everything was just straight down on the 3i.
straight down. Oh, yeah, I didn't look at mine. So, I usually only do it like a couple times a week.
Well, and the stocks got like crushed.
That's
today,
kind
too.
of it.
So,
Yeah,
Stocks got crushed today?
yeah.
Stock's been taking a beating lately, man.
Really? That's too bad.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Well, I don't own any Netflix.
well,
And I don't think Musk is going to go buy that one.
you saw the GDP numbers, didn't you?
No, is GDP contracted?
Yeah.
Oh, so we're in.
Recession.
Well, you have
two.
You have to have two. I wouldn't be surprised if we actually do dip into recession a little bit. That'll basically just strain the Democrats this fall.
Well, it's a wood chipper already.
I mean, it's just a question of how much of your leg you put in a wood chipper.
Who's going to be the sacrificial lamb?
Right, yeah.
Out there.
Well, there are already people that are trying to distance themselves from the current administration to save their own bacon.
Yeah.
Did you see the lady they hired as the social media?
Oh, the fucking Ministry of Truth.
that sings a
So
sings
stupid.
a
God
Mary
damn it,
Poppins
man.
song and
Ministry of
TikTok.
Truth?
Her.
Oh, you don't even know this?
No.
They just created this division that's supposed to watch over social media. So
Who did?
the
The Biden administration.
What part of it?
The Department of Homeland Security.
and she's got a TikTok video where she's singing this Mary Poppins song on how all these are just false. Oh my
Man, the
god!
Democrats are actively trying to lose everything. So, I mean, they're like checking every box that you could do.
Nuts.
And the problem with it is the Republicans don't have their shit together either right now. So they can't.
They don't have to.
No, they don't have
They
to.
just should shut up
All right?
and just watch this.
They cannot help themselves, though. That's the
that's true.
problem. Okay?
It's true.
You know, if you got those two lunatic women, you know, if you just deleted their TikTok accounts, okay,
Which ones?
you know which ones I'm talking about.
Are you talking about the one from down
The
there?
one from down there and the one from out in Florida. So where she's from? No, she's from Georgia.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
You know, because like that's just like the one things, and then like the Orange Menace has just spun off into the atmosphere. He's out there somewhere, you know. I think
waiting.
I think he's actually becoming vastly, like rapidly irrelevant. So, you know.
Well, I will tell you, there's a guy that can't sign his name to enough shit because I guarantee you he's going to make a move.
DeSantis?
Yes.
Well,
Probably, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There's a reason that dude...
Unless the Orange Menace comes back,
Right.
So
That's the only thing that
yeah,
could keep him from being president.
I don't think those two guys would fight if you put them in the same box. So
They would.
I don't
no,
think
they
I
would
don't-
because
I don't think they
one of
would,
them
yeah.
has to come out on top.
no, I think the other guy would just wait for the Orange Menace to die. So he's got a lot more time. So
Yes,
But it's never been more riper right now than, like, whichever one would, if he's the only Republican, like, he
Yeah.
would rule it.
it's
Like,
like 2.5 years though, man. That's a long time. So it's a
understand.
long time.
Yes.
You have to see what happens this fall first. So
but basically there are certain stamps that dude is taking right now that give him a specific platform to be able to say, I'm the anti-pedo candidate.
anti-pedo. What does pedo mean?
Pedophile. Anti-groomer.
Anti.
stop messing with my
Why
kids.
are you looking at me like I'm from Mars?
What is a groomer?
Trying to indoctrinate them with the left-wing agenda into the kids.
Are you
at a young
not
age.
familiar with the Disney Don't Say Gay agenda?
Well, yeah, I know about that, but what the fuck is a groomer? I've never heard that.
It's grooming them to become
Who's doing that?
Okay.
the schools.
All right.
The schools?
Hold up. Hold on. All right. No, okay.
Who in the fucking schools is doing that?
Holy fuck. All right. Hold on. Okay. So, all
You guys
right.
are kidding, right?
No. Okay.
They're trying to get kids to be gay.
It's just
Okay. Hold on. So, the basis of the quote unquote Don't Say Gay bill, which has nothing to do with the actual bill, okay, is sexuality is not to be taught for students that are in kindergarten. So, basically,
Yeah.
ages 5 to 7.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like young kids in elementary school.
Okay. It's just not to be talked about. So,
Yeah.
it was turned to the alternative side was then, okay, so you're saying don't say gay. So
No,
then
I
they
get
did
that part, but I don't know what a groomer is.
So the consequence of that, okay, is, well, why do you want to teach sexuality to little children? Are you grooming them to be basically sexually interested and active to the gay, trans, whatever community?
At that age?
Yes, so you're saying by you trying to fight this, you're grooming students to be basically your sexual target.
Okay, now I'm confused. So who's making that argument?
Okay, one more time. So DeSantis says take sexuality out from 5, 6,
Okay,
7.
got it.
Okay, got it. The Disney and the left side have said you are trying to say don't say gay.
Right, yeah, but that's false. So we got that.
But it doesn't matter. Okay.
Okay.
What they're saying is, by trying to stop this bill, you are trying to reintroduce sexuality to young children and groom them. Okay. The argument then, if you're opposing the quote unquote don't say gay bill,
Right.
you are trying to groom young children into being sexual at an early age and interested in gay and
So this is a
alternative lifestyles.
rhetorical argument. So it's basically saying if you oppose this bill, okay, then obviously you're a groomer.
Yes,
That doesn't mean that there's actually teachers out there who are trying to groom people, right?
there are, but
Really?
it's like just by putting out that information
No.
at that age, you're
Yeah,
grooming
I find it really hard to find any kindergarten teacher in the fucking country
No.
who would actually say, let's talk about touching babies today, kids.
well, no, here's what I'm going to break down for you. It is happening, okay?
Really?
It is happening at the same rate that it happened regardless of the...
Yeah, okay.
Because you always see teachers... Look, man, I worked in a district where
Yeah, I
that
know.
shit was going on, okay? So,
But, you know, it's not, like, common. You know, like, you have that one weirdo in the school who wants to talk about that stuff.
copy that.
You know, it's not like the entire state has got, like, this agenda out there that we want to actually introduce this shit.
Copy
So,
that.
okay.
But what I'm saying here is he's set this up where he's because of the back and forth, he's now saying, I'm the one that introduced anti-grooming legislation in my state. He's the one that has been in the forefront of basically saying, and this has now been followed by governors in many other places, where there will be a separation of biological women and trans women in sport. They will not be allowed. There are now individual states passing this. So he's taking certain measures to say, I am this guy, and I have been doing this in my state. Okay, even so much to the point where, because Disney decided to get their dumbass mouth in there and say like, oh well, we have employees here that want to walk out based on this. It's like, go for it. Okay, leave. Maybe we'll actually get some fucking work done for the afternoon instead of people bitching all day long about, like, all right, I'm editorializing, but
you are.
That being said,
bring it back together, man.
That put him in a good place to say, I took on corporations. I took on Disney.
I think so.
Okay.
I just don't think that if Donald Trump is actually in a race, I don't think he'll take on Donald Trump. So
I don't know how that will go.
I don't think that would go well with either of them. So I think
it comes down to those two.
Well, no, of course it will. But the question is, does DeSantis actually fight Trump? So,
or are they going to talk it out beforehand?
That's what I think would actually happen, is they would sit down and come to an agreement. It's like, well, I'm going to run this time, and then we're going to get you in position to actually take it over after me. I'm going to go find some stooge for VP, because he's only got one term if he actually goes back. So, and so I think that would be an easy backstage handshake deal that they could make, where you would have that happen. Now, the thing is that if Donald Trump comes in a race, the fucking left comes back alive again, man. So, which is not going to, which is weird, man, because I know I can't vote for the motherfucker. He's too weird.
So. You know what, buddy? It all comes down to who they're running. Because what I can't promise you is, under different circumstances, I would say, well, I know who's running. I don't know.
No, we don't know.
No idea.
No. Because, it's 2.5 years. You got a lot of time. I mean, Joe Biden will be 82, 81.
There's no way.
Yeah, I think he'd be 82.
Yeah, I mean,
so Harris is possibly the least liked person in politics right now.
She would be, that would literally be the Democrats was like, that would be, what is the term? So in Japanese, there's like there's like 6 different forms of suicide. And so there's like ritual suicide, which is really honorable. That's not that one. Okay, this is the one where it's like, I can't pay my rent at the end of the month, so I'm going to jump off the fucking building. So, so there's no honor in this whatsoever.
No.
So it would be that form of suicide.
It is clearly not seppuku. It is not.
Seppuku. How do you kid her? Stomach slitting. That's what this would be. That's the dishonorable.
No.
That's the dishonorable.
Oh, okay. Well, so no, it's not even that.
Yeah.
Okay, because there's the branch here that you're looking at, okay, is straight up, it's like not pay rent. You're talking about, I feel like our divisions are different. There's honor suicide, because we do have that here.
In the United States?
We do. Where? It's a very small thing, but it happens every now and then where, like, say like the Bud Dwyer.
I don't know what that is.
Oh, he was the famous one, shot himself on TV. He was the one that,
I don't know.
Supposedly this happened like 4 years before we were burned, right?
Oh.
This is the guy that I think it was in Pennsylvania.
Is the guy set himself on fire?
Nope. Oh. This was the guy that shot himself in the mouth on TV because it was believed that he was embezzling money from his institution. Okay. So he straight up told everybody, like, all right, look, if you have a weak stomach, leave the room. Mm-hmm. And they're like, why? And then he pulls a gun out of a paper sack, blows himself away.
It doesn't sound.
And this is why we have a time delay on all my TV now.
Actually, you're absolutely correct. So
that's why you remember it.
Yeah, and it turns out he was exonerated later on. It's like he didn't do it. But
then why would he have killed himself?
Yeah,
because they thought he did it, and he thought he was taking that shame with him, like, away from his family.
Are you sure he wasn't Japanese?
Nope.
It doesn't even sound very honorable.
Yeah.
Well, it's the same stupid bullshit that you would take in, right? Look, I'm not saying that I buy the, like, I wouldn't do it.
I don't know this guy, so.
But it's like, I've brought shame. I'm going to take that shame away right, and save my family.
Yeah, this is definitely not Kamala Harris. So, no.
Yeah.
Kamala Harris is very much so. It's like, man, I got myself into a bad situation. Look at all this credit card debt. There's no way I'm going to get out of it. My wife needs the life insurance money, kind of thing.
Right, because
it's that kind of suicide. How do I kill myself and make it look like I didn't kill myself? Can I put a hit out on myself?
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Right, that's it. I have to make it look like an accident so we can get the insurance.
Right. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because the other kind that we have here is, boy, my ex-girlfriend will sure be sorry if yeah.
No, and so like
And that's
again,
not-
that depends on like what happens this fall, and it also depends on what goes on in the economy and whether or not Ukraine actually gets itself sorted out. That doesn't result in nuclear war. So, in which case, all of this is irrelevant. Yeah. So I don't know, man. We're just gonna have to see, but it's not looking good. So, I just don't see him having the stamina to actually make it that far. I don't think I've seen anybody kind of go downhill as fast. So, and not even mentally. I think mentally he's still there. So he's just really slow and lethargic. You know?
I don't think he's all there.
I can see your reasoning behind that. He's definitely had a lot of gaffes and quips and things like that.
And that's with things being fed to him.
Yeah, that's the part that I'm a little bit concerned about. So, but the other thing that's kind of interesting is like nobody really knows like how much decision-making authority he has right now. You know? There's this guy that I listen to. He's got a pretty cool podcast. He's old head. He's like in his 70s. He's been around for fucking ever. And he's like, I've covered many, many White Houses over the years. He said, this is the only one that I've seen that doesn't leak at all. So Donald Trump's White House was basically like a fucking spaghetti train. It was a clown car, and there's just way too many guys in there, who had way too much fun actually ratting out on the boss. And apparently Obama's was almost as bad. So, but Joe Biden's is basically ship shape. And so this guy, he speculates that he's like, well, Joe Biden might be making some decisions every single day, but there's probably some other people in there who are making all the big decisions, and then just telling him, hey, this is kind of what's going on. So, but that's his speculation. He doesn't really know.
Well, you know what that reminds me of? That reminds me of, I guess there were stories that came out about Stan Lee in his final years.
Right.
So there was this question of like, how did you create all this shit, right? And they're making all these movies off of it, and they've restructured deals and things like this because originally, the whoring out of Marvel began when they were like in bankruptcy.
Right.
Right. And that's why, there were some things that had bad deals and stuff like that. But eventually it started to clean up and it started making more money. And there's this thing of like, why is this dude like 82 and still going to all these conventions and like wandering around like he's lost? And just like every now
Because
and then.
it was.
Well, and he would pop up on stage like for panels and say like, hey, how's everybody going? All right, see ya. And he wasn't sticking around to like answer questions. There's a lot of speculation from like the family that there were certain family members that were like trotting him out because he wasn't all there. And
So they were taking advantage of him?
yeah,
Got it.
And they're just like, we're going to tell you what to do and say.
Yeah.
Right? And it's going to feel awesome, right? And you're like, where am I? It's like, well, you're in Kansas City. You're doing Kansas City Con. Tell everybody that you love it there.
Yeah.
And then you can go sit down again, right?
Yeah.
And my understanding is that he went from like sharp as a tack at like 77
Right.
to just gone.
Yeah.
Of course.
Well, we watched that happen with Ronald Reagan, too. So.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But he served 8.
He did serve 8, but yeah, I mean, you can just like watch his speeches from the first 2 to 4 years, and then like he has an entire year where he doesn't make a public appearance later on. And
Then
so
again, Roosevelt had one of those too.
Ooh, FDR?
Yeah.
Oh, FDR was basically a vegetable by the time he died.
Yeah.
So, He wasn't as bad as Wilson. Woodrow Wilson spent his last year basically couldn't speak to anybody. So, because he had a stroke and nobody knew about it. So, yeah. Well, I mean, it goes to show that the country will run itself, regardless of who's on top of it in some respects. It's just a question of, like, all right, so, who exactly is benefiting right now from having Joe Biden up there? I don't think it's anybody in his family. He's got one kid left, and he's a freaking psychopath who's going to get indicted by the FBI, probably within his administration.
Damn it, man.
Which kind of shows that, okay, so, the federal government isn't one big football team.
So there's so much you can sweep under the rug.
Right.
Right out there, like.
It's not even sweep up. It is the fucking classic, like, so how did this happen, man? It's like, it is the, like, good old-fashioned Best Buy debacle. Well, I took my laptop in. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you pick it up? No. Did they call you? Twice.
Oh, you're talking about Hunter Biden?
Yeah. It's like, so what does it say on the paper? It belongs to them and everything on it. And this is the whole shit where, again, this is where, like, the Musk shit comes in. Because those news agencies knew this shit was true, buried it, and they have all of the shit from Twitter where they're saying, this is fake information.
Well, that's what the Ministry of Justice lady spouted.
Absolutely.
Who's the administrative
insane.
justice lady?
I don't know.
Dude, I don't want to...
What does she do?
She's the new head of it's called, like, the Department of Misinformation.
Yeah.
Oh, that thing that you were talking about before? Yeah.
So she had literally
Something tells me that doesn't survive very long. So
supposedly, this is about
the border,
combating information, especially from, like, Russia.
Yeah, that's that. I don't know who's going to do it or what the case is going to be called, but there's going to be some 9 people who rule on this within due time.
And other people are not on your side.
They're not on anybody's side, So, they're just like, I mean, even like, so we have a whole bunch of those. Those actually might be the news next week. Come to think, well, no, we got a little bit more time before all the summer cases start dropping. So,
right.
Yeah, I'll have.
What are the big ones?
I don't know. I was just thinking about that. I'm gonna have to go look those up. But I know there's one or two. I know there's an abortion one that's BFD. Yeah. So
do they have any, like, Supreme Court rulings on, like, Sportsbook?
I don't know.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I'd love to put some.
I don't think it's on Sportsbook, but what's that other site? There's a site out there where you can bet on anything as long as someone will pick up the bet. I guarantee you they're all on there.
I mean, there was tons on, like, election season and stuff.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure there's going to be. Once the case starts going, or, right as it's getting ready to kick off, they'll.
I bet you Will Smith's marriage is on there right now. So I did see Rogan actually made a bet the other day.
You and I wouldn't have even been talking about this unless I brought it up a couple of days ago. Because we were talking about shit that got buried.
That got buried. Yeah. So, but yeah, that will be kind of funny. So, see if Will Smith's marriage actually makes it to December 31st.
So, okay, so I have to put this.
Is there a timeline?
I have to put this to this guy with what the hot issue was.
Or we gotta wait another week. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
So don't go and listen to the last episode, man. We need you as a neutral observer.
All right.
Yeah. All right.
I don't know how, but he's the closest thing to like the average American.
Really?
Yeah. Because when you break down the demographics,
he makes more than you and me.
Well, yeah, but he's got.
I do. Oh, well, I guess.
Oh, hell yeah.
Well, he's got, like, the 2.5 kids. He's got.
How many dogs do you have?
None right now.
Oh, are you gonna get one?
Maybe 3.
3 dogs?
Possibly.
Oh wow.
Maybe some cats.
You're gonna have a menagerie. Well, okay.
Well, okay.
Cats are pretty cool, but yeah.
You're looking at him crazy because it's not like Will is going like.
I'm going to the store.
He's not going to the store. He's like, I have this much money. Give me as many dogs and cats.
If you have any in the back,
$50. Yeah.
No, this is possibly
moving in.
shared custody of animals.
Oh, got it. Okay.
These are pre-existing animals.
Pre-existing animals. Got it.
I'm
Okay.
cooking them up in the lab.
Right.
Yeah. So
Fake meat.
fake meat. Yeah. Pre-existing animals. I like that. So, all right, we're at $1.48.
All right.
Whoa.
Yeah. Oh, you were getting paid. So
I am.
Yeah.
I actually had to work.
clicking your little button.
I know. Well, I actually had jobs come up. It was kind of crazy.
I saw him do it. Yeah.
He's still on truth. It was going to work.
He got that serious look on his face there for a second. He
It
was
wasn't hard, but it was.
yeah, but you did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just kind of like you sat out for a second. It's like I'm gonna watch these two idiots argue about something
I'll
stupid.
just chime in here and there.
Yeah, that's kind of what we do.
It's the only thing I've ever been good at.
You're pretty good at it. Yeah.
That's what we do.
Yeah, that's
We've been
true.
doing it for a while.
Yeah.
It's just the problem is I want people to appreciate our genius financially.
What about our financial genius? I don't feel particularly strong in that category, so.
Oh no, I'm terrible with money. But what I'm saying is, no, I want. What needs to happen is we need to be like kicked around, and like some dude out there like who's big on the internet needs to like, who's that guy your kids like?
Mr. Beast.
Okay, so Mr. Beast needs to be like, so I heard these assholes from California or Colorado just like yakking about
Yeah.
something, and they really touched on a nerve. Go ahead and subscribe to these guys. And so what I want is like a bunch of people like to like come in here like 1 million and say like, we want you to keep doing this. Like here's $1 from each of us, and
See, the problem with that is that we'd probably stop doing it. So- if 1 million people,
at $1 a piece.
yeah, between actually $330,000 isn't that much money. I pay off my mortgage.
No, it's no, that's great money though.
It's really good money.
Because
But,
we got it for nothing.
And it just dropped in your lap.
right, yeah.
Oh, but then okay,
You still got to pay
You got
taxes.
taxes.
taxes
Oh,
on it.
yeah.
So we'd have to do
No
this
such thing
for-
as a free lunch. Yeah.
Right.
So
No, so then we set up the official like
Well,
Coffee
now you get to
before bed.
make merch and all that stuff.
but we could make merch now.
But you have to have people buying it.
No, you don't.
because you're on demand.
It's on demand.
Yeah.
They print it on demand.
Yeah, but that's not what we're talking about. So that means that
Jeff's not going to stoop to merch. He
no,
wants
no, I'm
straight up donations.
Yeah, man, I did sell anything with my face on it. I don't care, but
Or a
being
video game.
yeah, or
That would
That's
be
right.
so bad.
no, because I
Depends on which way you spin
I
it.
would love to still crowdfund that landlord game that I talked to you about.
That one would be good.
It would be good.
Yeah.
But the whole thing is that we get this public outcry of support, in the comments, and they say, "Where's the Coffee Before Bed Patreon?" And so we set up the welfare page, and we go ahead and collect on that.
RedTube. Yeah.
And then, yeah, exactly. And then what we do is we have disputes over which of us is allowed on the Coffee Before Bed PayPal account. And you just like lay it out. It's like, Jeff, you've made bad financial decisions all your entire life. Let me handle this. And then you actually grow it into something meaningful. Okay. You cut us like checks, right?
Why make me do all the work? I'm already the tech guy.
Well, you know that if we got that many subscribers, the Ministry of Justice would just abandon us.
Well, actually, YouTube would probably go back through our previous videos, demonetize.
They're not going to find anything.
Huh?
They're not going to find anything.
Oh man, if you've actually read their terms of service, they can basically do whatever they want.
Of course they can. But I challenge you to find anything hateful.
You can find it. Specifically talking about this.
You're hitting the line. I do not want to discuss the end of this joke with you.
But I didn't. It was all in the context. Look, no. Huck Finn didn't dislike black people. They just used that word.
Banned.
Banned. Banned. Demonetized and banned.
Gone.
Gone.
Where are you living right now?
Yeah, I know, man. So,
Christ.
yeah. All right. Well, that was an additional 4-minute rant, so I think we'll pull the pin here. I'm Pat.
I'm Will.
I'm Jeffrey. And I'm the Huck Finn of podcasting.
Jeff just quiet, yeah. So, all right, hitting the button.